Alright gamers, if you've got a brain in that big old head of yours, you probably picked up this overpowered little brat. That's right, I'm talking about Nahida, Lesser Lord Kusanali, the cutest f***ing game character ever. So if you're curious how to build this shiny little then I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Now I know what you're thinking, well, gee golly, she's so cute, what are you so mad about? She's so cute it makes me mad. Now one of the great things about Nahida is she's not very annoying to build, unlike some of the other characters in this game. So the good news is there are a lot of different ways you can build her. Let's jump in and see how to make the best Nahida ever. Now if you've watched the other theory crafter YouTubers, guess what? You only want elemental mastery and nothing else, and if you use anything else, you're a f***ing idiot. Well, I got news for you. You can use things other than elemental mastery, and fortunately for you, all those hateful kids on Twitter won't ever find out about it. Now, before we get into talking about artifacts, weapons, and all that good stuff, why don't we talk about getting her ascended in the first place? Well, unfortunately, she needs fungus spores, and lots of them, and not the ones that you set on fire or burn with electricity. She wants good old-fashioned clean spores, baby. This just in. Nahida does clean drugs. Now let's say you're trying to farm for spores and you come across some that are electrocuting themselves because they're masochists. Well, that's too damn bad. They're useless now. Now outside of those really annoying spores to collect, well, I got horrible news for you. She also collects these stupid ass flowers that grow on the sides of mountains, as if we didn't get enough of those in Leeway. And for a boss material, she uses a good old fashioned hypostasis. It should be easy, right? Well, even if it's an annoying boss to fight, at least there's a teleport waypoint relatively nearby, right? Now, do you have a cracked-ass Dendro character on your team? Well, unfortunately, they're going to be completely useless against this boss, except for at the very end where you don't even do damage to it. In fact, the whole point is that you heal it. I know, it makes sense! Now that we know how to get her ascended, let's talk about building her. EM! Use only EM! Nothing but elemental mastery, Dad! Now don't get it up. You do want a lot of EM on Nahida. She is a Dendro character, and all the Dendro reactions just want as much elemental mastery as possible. Why? Because they want you to play and build every character the exact same nowadays. But it doesn't have to be all EM. Now for weapons, elemental mastery, like we said, it's a good bet, but you can go with something with a little bit of crit rate, a little bit of crit damage. She's a great off-field Dendro applicator. In fact, by far the best in the game. But she can also do crit damage, and it ain't half bad, brother. Now, as far as artifacts go, everyone's going to lose their goddamn mind if you use anything other than the 4-piece Guild of Dreams, but I'm not using it, and neither should you. Okay, well, maybe you should, because it is probably objectively the best, but you know what? It really sucks to have to farm and feel like you have to meet the expectations of all the min-maxing theory crafters online, so you can build whatever you feel like you want to build. And here are some tips on how to do that. A couple things you can use for artifacts. You can use a 4-piece Deepwood Memories. You can use a 2-piece Gilded and a 2-piece Wanderer's Trope. That still gives you plenty of elemental mastery. You can do a 2-piece Deepwood, a 2-piece Wanderers to get some Dendro damage and elemental mastery. Oh my god, it's like you can build characters however you want in this game, but no one would ever know because of how people act on Twitter. Now for the Saiyans, elemental mastery is going to be your best bet. Attack percent isn't going to do that much good, and energy recharge is a waste because she has 100% uptime on her burst. On the Goblet, once again, elemental mastery is never a bad bet, but Dendro damage bonus works wonders as well. And now what about the Circlet? Well, surprise, surprise, elemental mastery is still your best bet, but crit damage and crit rate circlets are still viable because she does proc crits off field a whole lot, and honestly, if it's easier for you to do that rather than going and farming and ruining your life in the Guild of Dreams domain, be my guest. Oh my god, stop stunning me! I can't attack! Now for those of you with a f***ing bag in your pocket, let's talk about constellations. Are they worth it?
Oh yeah, they're worth it, baby.
Now to understand the value of her constellations, you gotta understand her skills, and they're a little bit confusing because for some reason they've made this great habit of giving us 6 paragraphs of information for every single skill in the game. So here's a quick Nahida skill breakdown for dummies. Her elemental, the cutest skill in the entire game, chains a bunch of enemies together with a little line of Dendro, and every time you trigger a Dendro reaction, pop, 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 it hurts them really bad. And then her burst does a big old shrine of green lights and glowing wonderfulness, and it basically just buffs the hell out of her elemental skill based on the other elemental types in your party. If you got Pyro in your party, her E does more damage whenever it procs those little boom boom booms on everybody. If you got Electro in the party, it procs the boom boom booms even faster. If you got Hydro in the party, it just extends the duration of the burst as a whole, thus creating 569% uptime. And yes, that is real math. Fact check it, theory crafters. Now, how does this relate to constellations? Well, with her burst, every time you have additional units of each elemental type, it increases that buff. So if you have more than one Electro, it further shortens the cooldown between each little proc of her elemental skill. If you have more than one Pyro, it further increases the damage. You get the point. So her C1 actually literally just adds +1 to every elemental type. So if you only have one Pyro unit in your party, it actually counts as 2. If you only have one Electro, it actually counts as 2. If you have one Hydro, it counts as 2. You get the f***ing point. And now her C2, her C2, actually one of the most busted constellations in the entire damn game. C2 lets Burning, Hyperbloom, and Burgeon all do crit damage. Now, as of right now, that's the only time in the entire game that those things can do crit damage, and it is absolutely broken. And as if the crit damage on the Burning and Burgeon and everything wasn't enough, you get a defense shred for triggering Electro reactions too. Jesus Christ! Her C3 increases the level of her elemental skill. C4 provides a big boost to her elemental mastery based on how many bad guys she gets sucked into that little line of Dendro. C5 increases the level of her burst, and if you've got deep pockets and unhinged mental health, then C6 turns her into a cute demonic little main DPS. Now, prioritizing her talents is pretty damn straightforward. Normal attacks, don't worry about them. Elemental skill, worry about it a lot. And her burst, you can worry about it a little bit. Oh my god, she's so cute. Congratulations, you've just watched the most informative and most mathematically correct Nahida build guide on YouTube. Now, if you enjoyed the video, you could hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more, and catch our live streams right here on YouTube most days of the week. Don't bother going to other platforms. We'll stay right here on the big red spot for you. What do you mean big red spot is a gross thing to say? I think it's YouTube. It's big and it's red and it's a spot for the logo. What are you talking about?